Okay, Lovecraft Episode 6, Meet Me in Daego. This tells the backstory of Tik and Jinha, how they met in the Korean War. Okay, so what you should do before you watch this, might want to do some light research about the what is it called? Kumiho. I'm sorry, the Kumiho breakdown I did months ago. Netflix's Sex, Love, and Robots. It's based off the Huli Jing. Now the Huli Jing and the Kunitsu are like one and the same, and then on the other side you have the Kumihu. Okay, so the Huli Jing, they're all nine-tailed foxes, but the Huli Jing and the Kunitsu and have moral compasses, which means they don't just kill randomly. They actually kind of think and care about stuff and actually have a compass of good and bad. The Kumihos, not so much. Like Pumpkinhead. Remember when the father son died at the hands of some children, and he summoned Pumpkinhead to take revenge, and then he realized after so many deaths it was just too much, and then if and then Pumpkinhead had to kill everybody that was ascribed to him, and if not, then the father would had to pay the price for not Pumpkinhead not fulfilling his contract, or if something happened to the father, then Pumpkinhead would die as well. Okay, so Jinha has been possessed by the Kumiho because her mother used a madong to summon the spirit to kill, basically to get revenge on her husband, which really was Jinha's stepfather. Okay, so Jinha's stepfather raped her. Okay, so let's get into it real quick. The mother's upset that she won't bring home any more husbands. At this point in the episode, she has 10 more to go. She's Jia's a nursing student. She goes on a speed date to meet men to bring back home to fulfill the contract. She loves Judy Garland movies. Her best friend, nursing student named Young Uli. She brings back home a man. She has nine tails. Nine tails come out of her eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, and vagina. So for nine. Okay. Um, Also with the Kumiho and the Huli Jing, once they live past 1,000 years, and then they're able to shapeshift. That means their power is pretty much uh, pretty strong at that point. So after 1,000 years, they can shapeshift. Sometimes with the Huli Jing or even with the Kumihu, they seduce young boys and either eat their hearts and livers. Okay. So her classmate and her invites her on a third wheel date. She brings home a man. Before she kills him, she absorbs their memories. Before she absorbs their souls. And so now we get to the summer of 1950. America invades Korea. Her mother wants her to find American soldiers for victims to fulfill the contract. She has two more bodies to supply. The Mudang said once 199 souls or 99 souls are collected, the Kumihu will leave the body and she'll become human again. Jiha and young Ja Uni, her best friend, have a heart to heart about communism, about being different. It's implied that her best friend is a lesbian because the way she holds her hand in class or at during this heart to heart part, or the way she holds her hand. There's a person that's hung of being a communist. And then Jiha begins to question her mother's accusations about her stepfather's love for her. She has all of her father's memories. So she remembers him repeatedly raping her, but then at one point she questions, well, maybe he really loved me because in her Kumiho state, she has no feelings, no moral compass. She's just a monster at this point, basically mimicking human emotions and reactions. The next day, Jiha, her nursing ship is accused of being a communist spy. Two nurses are executed before young Ja Uni confesses and then is dragged off. This is Tik's regiment, so this is where she first meets Tik. Okay. Then months later, Jinha sees an injured Tik in the hospital bed. She remembers him from the interrogation. She then decides to make Tik her final victim. Tick then asks Jihad to read him the final chapters of the Count of Monte Cristo, which is Montrose's his dad's favorite book. She tells him the ending, and then they discuss the nuances of the book. Tick later explains to Jihad that about racism in America. Jihad begins to read the ending of the Count of Monte Cristo. They bond over parental issues. She tells him a quote from her best friend, and he says he'd like to meet her. He doesn't know that was her best friend. Jihad then agrees to go on a date with Tick. They watch a Judy Garland movie. Tick confesses he's a virgin. During sex, Jihad kicks him out of bed to protect him because she has feelings for him, so she doesn't want to kill him. She changed her mind, okay? And then Jihad tells her mother she has feelings for Tick. Her mother spits on her. The next day, she tells Tick he killed her best friend. She was a communist, and he says to her she was a communist sympathizer. She admits she didn't kill him because she loves him. She says they do monstrous things, but that does not make them monsters. Then they have sex. The next day, Jin tells her mother she loves Tick and that she can control her tails. Okay, this now we get to the winter of 1950. She gives Tick a history lesson of the Kumiho. Tick has enough points to go home. He wants her to return to America with him. During sex, her tails are revealed, and she absorbs his memories, past, present, and some of the future for him. But she doesn't kill him. She sees them torturing her friend. They were pulling out her teeth one by one with pliers. So she saw what what they did to her friend. She tells him, don't go home or he'll die. And then Jin returns home. Her mother consoles her. The next day they go meet the Madong, and she sees a fox. Now, in Korean culture and even Chinese culture, if you see a fox, it's usually a bad omen. Go figure, right? Jin tells the Madong of Tick's pending death. The Madong tells Jin she will see countless death before she becomes one with the darkness. So that's a little backstory on the Kumiho. It derives from Chinese folklore, and then it spread to Korean. So it's actually the Chinese is the oldest uh, form or stories of it about the Kumiho, the Kunitsu, and the Huli Jin. So kind of all the same, but kind of not. One's kind of good, and the other one's kind of pretty bad. So that's pretty much it. That's my breakdown for episode 6, Lovecraft Country. You guys have a good night. Peace.